Hi guys, this is Breaker. Hang on, let me go ahead and remove my webcam for just a minute. I didn't want to do that. There we go. Alright, sorry about the alt-tabbing, guys, but here we go. I went ahead and downloaded a replay between two players, one of them being my favorite, but let me go ahead and introduce both of the guys first, and you will know which one is one of my favorites. In the lower right-hand corner, spawning as our Protoss in the red trunks, his name is lilbow. Lilbow. I don't know. And he's basically a member of the TRQ clan or TRQ team, whatever have you. And in the upper left-hand corner, spawning as our Terran in the blue trunks, his name is EmpireKas. And the map that we are on is Akilon Flats. And both players giving out their very mannered play. The good luck, have fun, good luck. Anywho. The reason why I call EmpireKas one of my favorites is because it's for two very good reasons. One of them being that I've worked with Empire TV before. That would be Cheesehead Logic. He's an American. You could say, yeah, he's basically an American, but I believe he was born in Russia. If not, his parents taught him Russian at a very young age, and it just stuck with him throughout the rest of his life. He does casting in English, both in Russian and in English from time to time. And oh, by the way, I also forgot to mention, I'm actually using a new hotkey setup right now, trying to make my observing just a little bit better. But, here we go. So far we got the makings of a rather standard game. No proxy gateways, no proxy raxes, and we're just going to see how the rest of this game unfolds. Kas, however, you know, I've casted him numerous times for the, you know, well, I wouldn't say numerous times, but I did cast him in the Empire, excuse me, not the Empire, the Rit Mix Russia StarCraft League. And we do have a gas going down right now for Kas. The question is, okay, I don't think this is going to lead into a Reaper. It is possible, yes, technically, but is it plausible? I think not. Simply due to two very good reasons. Right now we have not enough gas to make a Reaper. We already see a Marine in production. And that second very good reason is by the time that Reaper gets out, there's probably going to be a Stalker already being chrono boosted out by this gateway. Of course, a Stalker, it does outrange a Reaper, yes, but it does not outrun a Reaper. And Kas is going to come into the natural, see that there's like no particularly early expo. And now he's going to go into the main. And let's see what exactly he's going to read into. Alright, he sees a cybernetics core and 3 pylons right next to each other. And a double gas at that, yes. He sees both of them. Okay. And with that, we have Kas opting to go into a command center immediately after this barracks. Now we have a reactor going down with absolutely no Hellions. Or excuse me, no factory in production behind this. So this actually could lead into double Reaper play. Looks like he was just saving gas for that. Oh, wait. No, I was wrong. He's actually going for a factory, so he's going to go with a kind of traditional 1-1-1, if you will. Typically, when you are going for an assault like that, a 1-1-1, your aim is basically just to kill probes or drones or workers in general. But the Terran-specific 1-1-1 that we're going to see, like, if it is going to actually be a 1-1-1, that is it would lead into a few Marines, maybe a couple of Widow Mines, and a medevac, of course. You gotta find a way to get into the main. And, you know, I gotta say that the Widow Mines, like, they really are quite critical, because if they burrow into a mineral line, then they at least delay mining time for a significant amount of time. Like, that's 18 workers, no, 16 workers, a maximum of 22, depending on how many are going for gas. And, you know, they just can't mine safely with that Widow Mine there. And in the meantime, Protoss has to spend its time getting out some detection. Right now we don't have a Robo Bay, so I'm a little bit curious to see just what we're going to see from lilbow. Alright, and there it is, a starport. Lilbow knows about that. Okay, he's like, okay, 1-1-1. Time to hold my ground. Widow Mine coming back here. I'm guessing this is to defend the mineral line from the mothership if it should opt to go in there. And that's the beauty of it. Like Mothership Core, it's a really useful early game. What's the word I'm looking for? Harassment unit. Aside from this, we actually see the robotics bay going in production right now. So it looks like this is going to be maybe just some kind of a defensive 3-gate robo bay I say defensive very lightly because I don't see any pylons out on the minimap for lilbow. Behind this we do have a second pylon going down as well. And a refinery coming down behind this for Kas. He's actually got double gas production on his main. The natural... not quite going for gas, so I'm thinking maybe... Yeah, I was going to say we're going to see a bio follow-up. And of course the medevac is already out and on its way. As said before, Marines and Widowmine. And it looks like the Phoenix did not quite catch on to that, but we do have some Stalkers in the main ready to defend. We have some Stalkers at the natural as well. See, lilbow knows that something's coming his way, and he's going to try his best to hold off against it. And he does see the medevac, or at least his Stalkers had vision of it. He did not react to it. And this is interesting. It's looking like his goal right now. Oh, I like that. That was actually a little clever. Only gets one probe kill. Poor guy. And now the Marines are going to come into the mineral line while that Widowmine gets essentially taken out. Kas, more, you know, just essentially wasting quite a few minerals. 75 minerals and 25 gas, if I'm not mistaken. Second refinery on the way at the natural for Kas, and let's see what's going down now. We have the stim pack as well as Terran infantry weapons level 1. 3 Marines being cranked out at a time. A single Viking in production right now, and the makings of a regular macro game coming down behind this. Now the natural is oversaturated for Protoss, so this is telling me that perhaps he's going to try and take an early third relatively soon. And we have more and more barracks being tacked on, so this is going to be a very marine heavy force for Kas, I'm thinking. Observer coming in over here. And we also have extended thermal lance being researched presently. First Colossi did just get cranked out, a second one is now on its way. And now we have combat shields on the way. Of course, I want to say that lilbow is only slightly blind to what is happening here. You know, he sees that there's a fully mining base. He doesn't see anything in the main. He doesn't see any infrastructure just yet, but it looks like he's about to get a look into just what his opponent's doing. Okay, so now he sees basically 2 barracks that are on tech labs, and he's going to see a few more over here eventually. Meanwhile, we got one Marine kind of holding its ground there. Tried to build a nexus there while I was following that observer, and speaking of the observer, it sees what's going on here. He's like, okay, so my opponent's going to take a third soon, just like me, so we're both in the macro phase right now. And of course, with the Marine falling here, that also signals to Kas that his opponent's also macroing up. +1 finishing up just now for lilbow, and he's going for +1 armor, it looks like, yes. Extended thermal lance just finished up, and now we have a lot of infrastructure being tacked on, most notably the Twilight Council. This Blink Stalker is very important. This is looking like it's going to be basically the classical, I wouldn't say entirely 100% Wings of Liberty, what's the word I'm looking for? Wings of Liberty composition versus Wings of Liberty composition. No. But at the same time, I do need to stress that I don't see anything too terribly distinct to Heart of the Swarm, aside from a Mothership Core. And you know, I'm a little curious, just what are we going to see from Kas right now? Of course we have Vikings. Of course we have Marines. Of course we have Marauders and Medevacs. But the Medevac count is actually quite low. So that means that this assault that he's going to make on his opponent has to be very effective. Otherwise he is in a lot of trouble. Because every time he stims, you know, there's just not going to be enough Medevacs here to heal every single Marine and Marauder in the force. And they're not going to be able to do it quickly enough. Here we go. Looks like we got an engagement coming here. No, wait. Cosplaying his Marines and Marauders back. The Vikings are actually gonna try and deal with the Colossi, but there's only 2 at a time. And for now, it looks like the main force of Kas is kind of just, I don't know, playing tango right here with lilbow. I do want to stress that if the rocks fell at the right time, then a good deal of those Marines and Marauders would be dead, but Stalkers trying their best to hold their ground versus these Vikings. A lot of them still at full health. And we need to see that AoE get in production as well, but we don't. For now, we just have Kas pulling back, and it looks like, does he have another Expo going down? He does have a 4th command center in production, and it looks like this one is aimed at helping getting the SCV count up, but there's already too many on the 3rd. I think he needs to concentrate on maybe getting a 4th. But I'm not the pro Terran, so don't quote me on that, guys. And there it is, the 4th base actually right there. That will be the location for it. I'm thinking it will be, simply due to the fact that we haven't seen it already turn into an orbital command, I'm thinking we're going to see it get turned into a planetary fortress right here. Basically, that's 9 times out of 10 what's going to happen. There we go. We have the Templar Archives just finishing up. Psystorm being researched. Blink also going in production. +2/+2 on the way for Protoss. And behind this we have vehicle, ship, weapons, level 1 going down, +2/+2 for Marines and Marauders, also on the way. It looks like we have this observer getting absolutely enveloped right now, and it's going to follow the main force of Terran. You can see all these Vikings, that's a lot. 11 of them to handle the 4 Colossi that are out, and this is basically going to depend on the timing, more or less. Here we go, Kas, it looks like, oh, what is this? What is going on here? We have one Archon kind of getting soccer balled there, and it looks like these Zealots are going to come and try and make it a sandwich mode. And if the main force of Kas falls here, he's in a lot of trouble, but lilbow, right now the supply is 130 to 183, and I just don't know what is going to happen here. There are sentries, but they're not throwing down the force fields. That is the most important part. They do just fall, and so do all the Colossi, and now we just have lilbow basically desperately trying to hold his ground against his opponent. Not the 3rd. He's just lost it, and now the supply difference is 75 to 180, and I don't know if we're going to see lilbow come back from this. I just don't see it happening. What was at the 3rd is now nothing but shambles. He's lost a lot of probes in that, 25 over the entire course of the game. And if we see lilbow hold here, it's going to be nothing short of a miracle. We do have Cloak going down. I'm sure Mobius Reactor is already done, and now Ghost being integrated into the composition for Kas. And right now, this is just, lilbow trying desperately to hold. He loses his natural, and now he's pulling everything he can to attack. No, these probes are actually going to the 3rd, but now we see that he's basically forced to try to all in, and he's going to try, there's no doubt about that. But the question is, where's the main army for Kas presently? I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button there. It's another hotkey that I need to fix. There's no good reason why anyone should turn off sound in the middle of a cast, but of course I can understand someone wanting to do that in the middle of a game. We need to see lilbow basically redirect all of those probes to the natural. He does that just as I say it. And, right now, I don't know what to say about this game. I think we see lilbow in a desperately bad position. If we check the income right now, he's only at 1/3 of what we see for Kas. And of course, behind this, Kas is taking up double command centers and more command centers over here. It looks like they're gonna get morphed into orbital commands eventually. We did just see lilbow basically lose essentially 2 bases. 2 mining bases. His main is going dry as we speak. He's only on 3 mining patches there. There's 1 tech delay behind this, and there is no good news from this aside from car insurance commercials for lilbow. That's right, 15% or more 15 minutes can save you 15% or more by switching to Geico. Alright, now here we go. Kas going in for what may be the final push. To hold here from... Wow, that's actually a lot of High Templar. We're going to have to see just nothing less than absolutely excellent, beautiful storms from lilbow to actually prevail over this. Let's see how this goes. Maybe some force fields would help, but of course there's ghosts in the composition now, and I just don't know if we're going to see... Oh no. They're cloaked, and they're sniping all the High Templar. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god. There's only 3 High Templar left. 2 now. And now the ghost basically just targeted down the Archon. They didn't get the kill on it. They probably won't need it, and they've got more than enough energy to throw down quite a few... Ouch, that was one good storm. But of course, it doesn't even phase Kas. They had enough energy to throw down a few EMPs. They still have plenty of energy for that. The question is, what are we going to see behind this? And everything's just going to get blown up at the third. Kas just really not taking this engagement too seriously, and now we see that lilbow is slowly but surely going to be losing this game. You know, he doesn't even, he's got, there it is. You know, GG, that was the final engagement. He had nothing else to hold with. His natural only had 2 probes on it. He couldn't pull these guys off of the third safely. So there it is. If you guys liked what you saw here today, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button below my name, below Breaker, below this video, and we'll be just fine. And Peachy Keen, this has been Breaker. I'll see you guys next time.